Hey guys, welcome back to this channel once again. Today we'll learn how to program. So this video is special made for beginners who want to start programming. There are so many languages you can use in programming, such as C++, CSS, Java, JavaScript, Python, and so on and so forth. But I recommend you to use Python because it is the simplest and easiest language you can start with as a beginner in programming. So without wasting much time, let's get into the video. But before we continue, do your best to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so whenever I upload a new video, you can be notified as soon as possible. Thank you. Stay tuned. Let's get into the video. Now, there are so many tons of platforms where you can go and learn programming from. We have Code Academy, W3 Schools, so on and so forth. But now I'm using W3 Schools. So you can go ahead, go to Google, search for W3 Schools, sign up for an account with them, log in into your account, and you can start programming from scratch. So once you log into your account, you can go and select the type of language you want to start with. There are so many tons of languages in this platform you can choose from. We have HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, CSS, JavaScript, Python, SQL, so many type of languages you can choose from. But I recommend you to start with Python because it is the simplest and easiest programming language to start with. So let's open Python and go to the home page. You can see here you can get started right away. And before we continue, we have a dark mode and light mode which you can choose from. And also here you can choose the type of language you want to learn your programming or you want to code with. This is not the programming language I'm talking about. It is the language you speak, the language you want to write your code in. We have Chinese, so many other forms of languages, but I choose English because this is the formal language I use. So let's get started without wasting my time. So now in Python, we have what we call syntax. So it is syntax are the basic fundamental rules of every program. So in Python syntax, we have other rules you need to follow in order to write a functional program or a meaningful code. So now you can learn from those syntax. So the first syntax I want us to learn is we want to start with the indentation. And what is indentation? Indentation refers to the space at the beginning of a code line. Just as in this example here, we have if 5 is greater than 2, print 5 is greater than 2, which is in the two or single quotation marks in a bracket. So now you can see at the back of the print there are some space left before you write the print and start with the open bracket. And we come to the next example here. There is no space before the print. This shows that there is an syntax error in this code. So you cannot write a code like this. So the first indentation is to learn the space you need to leave before you can write a code. And the most common use is either 1 or 4 space you will leave before you can write the code. But it depends the number of space you want to leave. You can leave as much as you want. It depends what you decide to use. Now the next syntax we want to learn is Python variables. And what are variables? Variables are created when you assign a value to them. So in any letter you assign a value to it, it is a variable. Just as in this example here, x is equals to 5. So now you assign 5 to x, meaning that x is a variable, y is equals to hello world, and y is a variable. This is as simple as you can imagine. And the next syntax we will learn is comment. Comment is anything you start with an asterisk. So before writing the code, we start with asterisk, then write. You can see in this example, this is a comma, then you write the print hello world. So you can test yourself after this simple Python syntax. So these are just the few syntax I want to start with for today. There are so many syntax we have to learn in this journey of programming. We have data types, numbers, casting, strings, booleans, operators, lists, tuples, sets, dictionary, so on and so forth. But today I just want to start with these three simple syntax. I hope you've learned something. Keep practicing. Make sure to always try the examples after you learn. So let's try this simple exercise here and see how it goes. Now they say insert the missing part of code below to output hello world. So what will you put here in order to make this code complete? All you need to do is, we learn that code start with what? To write a code, you start with print. So you want to execute a code, you have to put the word print at the back or at the beginning of the code. So, but this is very important. You cannot start with a capital letter because small letter is what is recommended. So you can write here print. Now you can submit your answer and let's see the results. Submit the answer. You can see correct. You can try another example. There are so many quiz and exercises here you can learn from. Just like this indentation we have learned. So now this example misses indentation to be correct. Instead the missing indentation to make the code correct. So what will you do here in order to make this code correct? And what are indentations? We learned that indentations are the number of space you left before or at the beginning of a code. So here there's no space in this code. All you need to do is just to provide some one or two space here. You can see I've provided some two space at the beginning of this code. Now let's submit this. You can see that we are correct. And then let's go for the last example, which deals with comment. Now comments in Python are written with a special character. Which one is that? We learned that if you are writing a comment, you start with asterisk. So meaning they ask us to put this asterisk at the beginning of this comment. All you need to do is to put this asterisk and submit. We are correct. So this is what I want to show you for today. The next video will be on the next syntax you need to know before you can write a meaningful or a functionable program. So make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so whenever we upload a new video, you can be notified as soon as possible. Thank you for staying tuned. See you in the next video. Love.